It's so nice because there's such a nice big group today, which is so nice because it makes me feel very warm because I know that being online is not for everybody and I know that it's hard, but it makes me happy to see that you guys are giving it a go anyway, even though it might not be your favorite way to practice because it is a crazy time. And I think this practice certainly isn't going to do us any harm. So it can only serve us and benefit us. So thanks for being here. Let's lie down. We're going to start on our backs. And we'll bend the knees. Bring your feet as wide as your mat. Let your knees knock together. They don't have to touch, but if you want them to touch, then you can bring your feet a little bit closer together to make that a little bit more comfortable. We're going to take the arms out into a big wide T shape if you've got loads of space. If you don't feel like you have loads of space or if there's something nearby, just bend your elbows a little bit until you feel more comfortable. And close your eyes. Start to settle in. Feel the back of your body, every part of the back of your body that is touching the earth, let it settle down into the earth. And then the front of your body facing up, facing the ceiling, facing the sky. Imagine the front of your body dropping back in towards the back of your body. Really soft, really heavy. And close your mouth, breathe through your nose. And start to find a deeper breath. A deeper breath in and out through the nose. And all I want you to do right now is listen to the sound of your breath. Notice if it makes any sound. Maybe it's so quiet you don't hear it. But if you don't hear it, rather than making the breath louder, see if you can tune in more to hear the breath more. And let every breath be really slow and really deep. So deeper than you normally breathe throughout your day. When you're not paying attention to your breath and you're doing all the million things that you have to do in a day. Right now, you don't have to do anything. None of those things matter here, right now. So you can let all of your energy and all of your awareness be with this breath, with this slow, deep breath that you're listening to. Notice how when you breathe in deeply and fully, the front of your body starts to lift away from the back of your body. The back of your body expands into the mat. The sides of your body expand out to the sides. And then as you exhale, feel yourself connecting back down towards the earth. Back of your body settling back and the front of your body settling back. Notice if deeper breaths feel dramatic, if they feel forced, if they feel very weird. And then let yourself soften a little bit and you can breathe a little bit less deeply so that this doesn't feel forced. More conscious. Now start to imagine that the breath is traveling along the back of the throat as you breathe. Keep your mouth closed, keep breathing those slow, deep breaths, and notice if anything changes about the breath. Can you hear it any more? Can you hear it any less? Does it sound any different? And let your awareness stay with your breath, but separate your knees and bring your feet as wide as your mat and your knees as wide as your feet. And then check right back in with the breath. Make sure you've not let your awareness move away from the breath. Still focusing deeply on the breath. And then walk your feet into about hips distance apart. So you're walking your feet in a little bit so your feet are lining up with your bum there. Feet are flat on your mat, toes are facing forward. We're going to take the arms down along your sides now. So bring your arms along the sides of your body. You can turn your palms to face down here, or if facing the palms up is more comfortable, you can do that. Roll the backs of your shoulders back into the mat here. So we want to create space across the front of the chest rather than the shoulders hunching up away from the floor. I want you to think about the backs of your shoulders dropping back down towards the mat. Arms by your sides. Now start to press down into your feet and lift just your tailbone, which means you're really just tipping your pelvis. You're not lifting your butt. You're not lifting your back body. You're just feeling the very, very tip of your spine start to lift up. So it's really just the very, very bottoms of your bum cheek. The low back is still on the mat. And your tailbone is starting to lift up away from the mat there. Okay. Picture your spine. Picture the vertebrae along your spine. And let's press down through the feet a little bit more and lift up just a tiny bit more. So now your hips are starting to lift, but your low back is still connected to the mat. So really, again, we've just kind of tipped the pelvis and lift the bum cheeks off the mat, but your low back is still down. And then press down again through your feet and lift up just to so you're lifting your middle back, lift your lower back up now, but your middle back is still on the mat. So the back of your waist still on the mat, okay, but your bum is up. Notice that tipping of the pelvis, right? Then press into your feet. We're going to lift up a tiny bit more. So now we feel the bum completely lifting up. The hips are completely off the mat. And now we're pressing down into the middle to upper part of your back. Okay, so if you think about where your bra strap is, that is clearly down on the mat. And then even a few inches below your bra strap, still down. But we've got the hips up now. Low back is up now. And then we're going to press down again and we're going to lift up. And we're going to go just about up to the bra strap. So your bra strap's still down, but lifting up the area below where your bra strap line is. And then press down into the feet and start to lift up just about where your bra strap is. So your shoulder blades are still down. Back of the head is still resting back. Press down into the feet some more. And now you're going to start to lift all the way up until you feel the tips of your shoulder blades down, but your back body is up. You're really starting to make your way into this bridge pose now. Press down through your feet. Your knees are facing forward. Your toes are facing forward. Arms are down. Now, I'm going to guess palms facing down is probably more comfortable, but if it really is more comfortable with the palms facing up, go for it. That last little step here, we're going to press down into the feet a little bit more, and we're going to lift up. So you feel the tips of your shoulder blades lifting up. You're going to feel your hips lift up high. Your legs are probably starting to feel this if they haven't already been for a while. Take a deep breath in. And then we're going to reverse this, okay? So we're going to bring the tips of the shoulder blades back down, but keep everything up. Okay? Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, you're going to start to lower your bra strap, rest of your body still up. Take another breath in. As you breathe out, that upper middle part of your back starts to come down, right? But your waist still up. Take another breath. Start to lower a little bit more. Keep your waist still just about up. It's like you're almost feeling your waist, the back of your waist starting to come down, but not yet. Then start to let the back of your navel, the waist area come down. And then the low back. Hips are still up, bum is still up. And then start to let your hips settle down. And then let yourself come all the way down. Take your arms back out, either into the T shape or the goalpost with the elbows a little bit soft. Take your feet as wide as your mat once again, but your knees are going to stay as wide as your mat, and then let your knees drop over to the right. So as your knees drop to the right, your feet are on the outer edges of the mat, so your legs aren't touching each other here. You're rolling onto the pinky edge of the right foot and the big toe, that inner arch of the left foot. Let the knees drop. Breathe deeply. So you're still breathing, right? You're still really conscious of your breath, of the sound of your breath, of that expansion in your breath as you inhale, and that dropping back down towards the earth on your exhale. Then bring your knees back to center. Your feet are still as wide as your mat, and then let your knees drop to the left. And again, really let the knees drop. Legs are separate still. Breathe. And then come back to center. Bring your knees back to center. Walk your feet into about hips distance apart again. And take your right knee up into your chest and bring your hands to interlace behind your right thigh. And you can go nice and low down on the right thigh there. And then we're going to point the right toes and then start to lift the right foot up. So your right leg is going to start to extend a little bit there. It does not have to go super straight, but you're going to extend it to the point of you feeling a comfortable stretch there. What's a comfortable stretch? So let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is your absolute, like you feel like you're about to break. You're in such an intense stretch. We're only going for about a 5 or a 6 here, right? So there's more for you to go. We're not going to go all the way. It should feel like a pretty comfortable stretch for you. You should be able to hold your leg up there. And if you can't, that just means you need to bend a little bit. That's all. Just soften the knee a little bit. Don't let your leg get to the point of shaking. Don't let yourself get to the point where you're like, how long am I going to be here? Okay, just ease off. You can start to slide the hands up a little bit towards the middle of the back of the thigh, right behind the hamstring there. And maybe you can let that leg come into the body a little bit more with the weight of the hands. But again, the knees can be soft. We don't need to straighten the leg. We don't need to push it straight. But if you find that you got a lot of space in your hamstrings and you want to straighten the leg, that's fine too. But again, don't go anywhere crazy. Okay, now release your hands off that leg. Keep that leg nice and straight now. So you're going to probably need to move the leg away from you a little bit, but now we're going to really straighten that leg. And let's flex the foot now. Kick that heel away so you feel a stretch along the right calf. And then press down into the middle back. So you remember when we were tipping the pelvis down when we were coming into our bridge pose. So feel the very bottom of your tailbone start to lift up as you press down through the sacrum, which is that flat bit of your back that kind of joins the bum to your low back. Press down there. And then keep that action, keep that connection with the mat, keep the right leg nice and straight, and super slowly lower it down to about, say, 5 or 6 inches above your mat. Don't put it all the way down. And if you can't keep the back body pressing down and that right leg extended super straight and strong, you can bring your hands under your butt here, and that's going to help you press down through that sacral area. Okay. Just another big breath in here. And then as you breathe out, start to let the right leg lower all the way down. And then bend that right knee and bring it back. And then bring your left knee into your chest. Interlace your hands behind your left thigh. Go nice and low on that left thigh. And then start to extend the leg up. And again, don't feel like you have to straighten that leg. This should be a pleasant stretch. We're going to point the toes. So we get a stretch along the front of the foot and the front of the lower left leg along the shin. And if that knee is soft, same thing. We're still pointing through that left foot. And if you want to start to slide your hands up a little bit, you're welcome to. Maybe the leg draws in towards the body a little bit more. Maybe the knee bends a little bit more. Don't go for a big bend or anything. Still extending the leg. But find that place of comfort. It's like that Goldilocks place. You know, right in the middle. Where it feels just right. And then take your arms and release them down by your sides and flex the left foot as the leg straightens and moves away from you a little bit there. Really pressing down through that sacral area again, drawing the navel in towards the body, and then a super slow lower of that left leg. And we're going to stop when we get about 5 or 6 inches off the mat. And you're going to hold there for just a breath or two, really pressing down. Maybe you put your hands under your bum. It's not going to make it super easy to bring your hands under your bum, but you'll find you can connect your sacrum to the mat. Take another breath. Keep the foot flexed, pressing the heel away, and then relax that leg all the way down. Then bend the left knee, bring the left knee into the chest, bring the right knee into the chest, hug in, rock around a little bit side to side. And then we're going to rock up. So we're going to come all the way up to a seat and then swing the legs around back behind you. Come into a tabletop. Spread your fingers wide. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your toes under. Sit your bum back towards your heels so you feel a stretch in your feet there. You don't have to put all the weight back there if the stretch feels too big. You can still keep some weight forward. Just going for a stretch in the feet there, sitting the bum back in the direction of the heels. And then walk your hands forward a little bit there. Keep the fingers spread wide. And then start to bring your shoulders forward over your wrists. Okay, so shoulders over your wrists. And notice that we're not bringing the shoulders over the fingers, right? The shoulders are over the wrists. So you should have a straight line down from the shoulder down to the wrist. Then sit the bum back to the heels, toes are still tucked. And let's use the breath here. So inhale, come forward, bring the shoulders forward. You'll feel your hips come forward, but we're not gonna let the hips drop down, right? We're gonna keep the hips hugging up, navel hugging up into the body. Then sit the bum back towards the heels once again. And then inhale, come forward. Shoulders over the wrists, spread the fingers, press down through the pads of the fingers, then exhale, sit the bum back to the heels. And then one more time, inhale, come forward, shoulders forward, straight line from the shoulders to the wrists, tips come forward, hug the navel up. And then untuck your toes, point your toes, bring your big toes to touch, sit your bum to your heels. Keep those arms extended in front of you. We're going to take an active child's pose by keeping the elbows lifting, sitting the bum to the heels, and really push the hands forward into your mat to sit your bum back and rest your forehead down. Back of the neck nice and long. And let's tap back into that deeper breath. And notice how that expansion feels when you're now sitting your bum back to your heels and your belly's over your thighs, right? Even though your knees are probably a little bit wide there, your belly might have some space in between your thighs. Notice that expansion into the back of the body, into the sides of your body, and into the front of the body. And if you're experiencing any kind of compression in the breath, and focus on those slow, deep breaths, the sound of the breath, the feeling of the breath. And take another big breath there. And then let it go. And then come forward again. Bring your shoulders forward over your wrists. Get really broad across the chest and the front of the shoulders. Separate your feet. Hug your navel up into your body. Maybe scoot your knees back a little bit there so you've got a really nice straight line from the crown of the head to your knees. So close your eyes and just listen. The crown of your head to your knees. Engage your thighs. We want a straight line. Hug the navel up into the body. Take a deep breath. And then start to bend your elbows. Hug the elbows into the body. Lower yourself all the way down. Belly, chest, thighs all touching down at the same time. Point your toes. Bring your feet as wide as your mat. Bring your hands still in that same line, right? So they're right about maybe under your elbows or right about your upper rib cage. We're just gonna take the hands wider off the mat. Start to roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, and come up for a wide-armed cobra here. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, press the hip points down into the mat, and then lower yourself all the way down. Do that again, just like that, nice and wide with the hands. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower. And one more time. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, lower. All the way down. Bring your hands back onto your mat. Tuck your toes under. Hug your elbows into the body. Hands just about under your elbows. Take a deep breath in. Back of the neck nice and long. Feel the breath fill up through the back body. And as you exhale, push down to lift back up into that wedge shape that we were making before, that modified plank. Then lift your knees and lift your hips and press it back into your downward facing dog. So for this first down dog, close your eyes. Press forward into your hands, spread your fingers, and pedal the legs, pedal the arms. Let the head relax, ears align with the upper arms. So head is relaxing in that we're not looking up, we're not looking forward, we're not lifting the head. We're also not shoving the head back as if we're trying to get the head back between the legs, right? So bring the ears in line with your upper arms. So the back of the neck should feel nice and long. Really push forward. Feel the weight sink back into the heels as you pedal. Take another breath there. Then come to stillness just for a moment. Let the heels sink. And then walk your feet to your hands. And we're going to come into a forward fold. As your feet come forward, feel free to let your knees bend. Come to your fingers, let your hands lift. Whatever you need to do to get forward into your fold. Let's have the feet a little wider than the hips for this one. Feel the weight here before you come up. And your hands can be on your legs. You could be on opposite elbows. Your hands could be down. That doesn't really matter. But feel the weight shift around in your feet a little bit. Shift the weight forward and shift the weight back. So you feel your heels press down and your toes lift, and then you press forward into the balls of the feet, and your heels maybe even lift or just get a little bit lighter there. And keep doing that. Keep shifting forward and back. And see if you can relax your head down. Getting a little bit heavier through the upper body. And again, you can be doing this with your hands on opposite elbows. You can have your hands on your legs. It's a really subtle little movement. You can have the hands down, head relaxed. Give the head a gentle shake out. Yes, no. Releasing any tension you're holding onto there. And then let's soften the knees. Press down through the feet. Fronts of the feet, backs of the feet, really root down, soften the knees and roll yourself all the way up to stand. Take your arms all the way up to the sky. Urdhva Hastasana, reach up. Interlace your hands, push your palms up, drop your shoulders down, hug your navel back into your body, engage your thighs. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, arms down by your sides, Tadasana. You can give your shoulders a little roll, a little wiggle there. Okay, so let's bring the feet now to about hips distance apart. Arms by your sides in your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Take a deep breath in. Reach your arms up to the sky for your Urdhva Hastasana. Lift up. Our Urdhva Hastasana is this little back bend, but our back bend is up high rather than down low, right? So we're not cutting into our low back at all here. If you think about where the bra strap is, that's where our bend is, right? Chest is lifting and the belly is strong. So as you lift your chest, can you channel back into how you felt when you were lying on the mat and we started to lift the tailbone slightly and you were pressing back into your low to middle back? Okay, feel your core engage as your low back gets longer. Take another breath. And then as you exhale, we're going to fold. We're going to come all the way back down into Uttanasana. Drop the crown of the head down. Press down through the fronts of the feet now. Let the heels get light but not lift.
Then inhale here, rise up halfway and lengthen. So hands to the shins or maybe come to the fingers, roll your shoulders back, kind of find a flat back and straight legs. Pull the chest forward as the sitting bones go back. Nice straight legs here. Then bend your knees and bring your hands all the way down, bring them beside your feet. We're gonna step the right foot to the back of the mat. You're gonna go all the way back with the right foot so that your left knee winds up just over your left ankle. You have a straight line down there. Take your right foot, hop it to the right a little bit. So when you look at your feet, you can see your left foot is more on the left side of your mat and your right foot is more on the right side of your mat. Press down through your feet. We're gonna rise up and come up into a high lunge or a crescent lunge. So we're staying on the ball of the back foot. We're not gonna put that right heel down. Hips are facing forward here. So you might find you need a little bit of softness in that right knee, okay? If that right hip flexor, the front of the right thigh, or the hip meets the thigh, if it's a little tight, soften the right knee. There's no need to push it straight. Because sometimes we push it straight, and then what happens? Our pelvis starts to spill forward, and then we compress into the low back, okay? So better to soften the knee so we get that nice, long, low back, okay? Arms to the sky. Reach up. Plug the shoulders down. Hug the navel back into the body and breathe. And those slow, deep breaths. Sink a little deeper into your left knee. One more breath. Now, take that right foot, hop it to the right a little bit more, and put the right heel in and down. So you wind up in a really similar shape, except we've taken the right heel in and down. So your right toes are facing forward towards the right front corner of your mat. Maybe we bend a little bit deeper into that left knee. You're gonna get a big stretch into that right hip flexor, front of the right thigh there. Arms up high. Deep breath. Plug the shoulders down, hug the belly back. Again, we're not going for any kind of arch in the low back there. Take another breath there. Now that right foot is gonna hop behind the left foot. So still at the back of the mat, but we're gonna hop so that we can line our left heel up with the arch on the right foot. So your right toes are gonna open out a little bit more to the right. And we're gonna come to warrior two. Open the arms out wide. Reach the arms wide, sink deep into the left knee. Open your hip points out to the left, but keep your, open your right hip out to the right, but keep your left knee facing forward. Take a deep breath. Now don't change the bending of your knee, but take your left elbow onto your left thigh. Lightly rest it there. Don't dump weight into it. Take your right palm, turn it up to the ceiling. Turn your chest up towards the ceiling. Then take that right arm and reach it all the way up and over your right ear so that your right palm faces forward. Imagine that the back of your body here is against the wall and you're gonna lean back into the wall. Root through your legs, really driving that right foot down into the mat and bending deeply into the left knee. Take another deep breath. Then press down through your feet, rise back up into your warrior two without unbending that left knee. Then bring your hands all the way down to frame that front foot. Pivot back to the ball of the right foot. Keep your right hand down and twist, bringing your left arm up to the sky. Now we're going to turn the chest up towards the left hand. And as you turn the chest up, wrap that left hip in towards the body. You should get a nice stretch into that outer left hip there. Take a deep breath. Press the right leg straight. Press the right heel straight back behind you. One more. Then take the left hand down and take your right knee down. If you're on hard floor, you can double pad your mat there. If you have anything that you can put soft under your knee there, feel free to pad your knee. Let the hips drop forward here. Press into the left foot and rise up, Anjaneyasana. Take your arms to the sky. So if this feels like too much, the hips back up. As it feels more comfortable, maybe the hips drop forward a little bit, but I want you to feel the left heel and the right knee hugging towards each other without actually moving. So there's like a squeezing action there as you hug the left heel and the right knee towards each other. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, bring your hands all the way down, lift the back knee, and step back into downward facing dog. When you get back into this downward facing dog, feet about hips distance apart. And we're going to sway the hips, a little sway side to side there. So keep the legs as straight as is accessible for you. And let the hips drop side to side a little bit. Just a little sway. And then come to center. And then come forward, bringing your shoulders forward over your wrists into plank. Bring your knees down to modify your plank. Pull your shoulders back, get broad across your chest. Hug your navel up, take a breath in. As you breathe out, we're gonna try that lower again, belly, chest, thighs. Everything comes down at once. This time we'll keep the hands where they are. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Roll the shoulders back, cobra. Stay as low as you like. And then exhale, lower. Keep the elbows bent. Inhale, cobra. Hug in through the elbows. Exhale, lower. And one more time. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, lower. Now tuck the toes. We keep the knees down. Inhale, puff up through the back body. So feel that expansion through your back body. Then press back up to that modified plank, that wedge shape. Then lift the knees back into your plank. Lift the hips back into your downward facing dog. Push forward to sit the heels back and breathe. Take another deep breath in. And then let it go. And then walk your feet forward to your hands and come back into your Uttanasana at the front of your mat. Drop the weight forward now into the fronts of your feet and drop the crown of your head down. Soften the knees as much as you need to for this to feel accessible. Inhale, rise up halfway to lengthen into a flat back and straight legs. And then exhale, fold again, drop down. Press down through the fronts of the feet, soften your knees. Roll up to stand, take your arms up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. Remember that little back bend, lifting the chest up, hugging the belly back, getting really long along the low back. Another big breath. And then arms down by your sides, back into your Tadasana. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Come all the way down, Uttanasana. Weight comes forward, heavy through the upper body. Inhale, rise up halfway to lengthen again. Flat back, straight legs. Exhale, hands down. Left foot goes to the back of the mat. Nice and far. So your right knee is over your right ankle. Press down through your feet and rise up into your crescent lunge. Remember, we're probably going to need a little softness in that back knee. That's cool. Soften it. Hips are facing forward and we feel long in the low back rather than compressed, rather than arching. Okay, none of that. Arms reach up, shoulders drop down. Breathe. Now remember, in a moment here, we're going to go from this shape into our warrior one. And our warrior one is really similar, except we take that back heel down and the left toes face forward towards the front left corner of the mat. But we need to take the left foot to the left, just a little bit more there, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take another breath here. Sink a little deeper into your right knee. Then take that left foot, step it to the left a little bit and put the heel down. So again, left toes wind up facing the front left corner of your mat, and your left heel is turning in and down. We're still facing forward and the hips, arms reach up. Sink deeper into the right knee, stay strong through the low belly again. No dipping into the back body there. Take another breath. And then we're going to open up for warrior two, and that left foot is going to step behind the right. So we get that heel to arch alignment, deep bend in the right knee, arms reach out wide. So wide stance here. Right knee is facing forward over the toes, but the front of the left hip opens out to the left. So we feel this openness across the front of the hips and the inner thighs there, especially probably the inside of the right thigh, but you might be getting a lot of sensation into the inner left groin as well. Really reach with the arms. Take another breath. Then stay strong in the legs. Bring your right elbow to your right thigh, rest it gently. Turn your left palm to face up and then start to lean back like you're up against the wall here and you're leaning back into the wall. Then take that left arm and reach it all the way up and over your left ear. Keep leaning back into this. Stay really strong and grounded through the legs. Bend deeper into the right knee. Don't worry about where you're looking. Keep the back of the neck nice and long so the crown of the head is facing forward. Take another breath. And then come back into your warrior two, keeping your legs strong, reach the arms wide. Then bring your hands all the way down. We pivot to the ball of that left foot. Left hand stays down, right arm reaches up to the sky to twist. Hug the right hip into the body, turn the chest up towards the sky. Again, it's like you're leaning your back body into the wall behind you, especially the back of the right shoulder. Keep the left heel facing straight back. Take another breath. Then right hand down, left knee down. Let the hips drop forward, press through that right leg, and rise up Anjaneyasana. So again, we don't need to sink forward any more than feels really appropriate here, okay? So if you need to back off, or maybe you sink a little bit more, keeping the belly nice and strong, low back long. Lift the chest, take another breath. Then bring your hands down, lift the back knee, step back, downward facing dog. Press forward into the hands as the heels drop. Inhale, come forward to plank. Shoulders come forward over the wrists and we bring the knees down. Modified plank. Pull the shoulders back and we're gonna lower again in that straight line down. Belly, chest, thighs, hug the elbows in. Keep your hands where they are. Press the tops of your feet down. Inhale, rise up, cobra. Maybe a little higher. Exhale, lower. And again, inhale, rise up. And exhale, lower. And one more time. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, lower. Keep the knees down, tuck the toes. Hug the elbows in, big breath in. Exhale, push. Right back to that modified plank. Then lift the knees and lift the hips downward facing dog. Ears in line with the upper arms. Lift the tailbone to the sky. Another breath. And then walk your feet forward to your hands, coming back into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Feet hips distance, head dropping down, weight shifting forward into the fronts of the feet. And then soften your knees. Roll up all the way to stand, taking your arms all the way up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana, lifting the chest. And then arms down by your sides, Tadasana. And bring your feet together, big toes touching. And we're gonna we'll start with the left foot. So we're gonna stand on the right foot. And we're gonna take the left heel, bend the left knee, and see if you can catch a hold of the left foot. If you can't, maybe you grab a hold of the legging there, or if you happen to have a strap, you can grab a strap. We're gonna hug the knees in towards each other. If you can't grab the foot and you don't have a strap, it's fine. You just stand with that leg lifting, okay? Hug the heel in towards the bum, and then see if you can bring your knees together. So what will sometimes happen is that left thigh will come forward of the right thigh, okay? So bring that left thigh in line with the right thigh and then squeeze the thighs together. No back bend here, okay? Hug in through the navel a lot. Stay really strong through the belly and long through the back body. Then get a little broader across the chest and take your right arm up to the sky. Find your drishti if you haven't already, that place where you're going to rest your gaze. You're going to keep focusing on that spot and your breath, sound of your breath, the sensation of your breath. Now take the right arm back down and bring the left knee forward. Release the foot, bring the left knee up into the chest, pointing the toes. Arms by your sides, palms facing forward. We take a breath. 3, 2, and 1. Put the left foot down right next to the right so your feet are touching. Stand on the left foot. Bring your right heel to your bum and catch a hold with your right hand. Again, the right thigh is going to try and creep forward, but we're going to hug it back and bring it in line with the left knee. Squeeze the knees together. Hug the navel back, long into the low back. Left arm to the sky. Breathe. Eyes are fixed. Soft gaze. Listen to the breath. Now release the left arm. Release the foot. Bring the right knee forward. Turn your palms to face forward. Point your right toes. Lift that right thigh high. Breathe. 3, 2, and 1. Put the right foot down. Take an inhale. Reach your arms to the sky. And exhale, fold. Come all the way back down into your fold. You can keep your feet a little bit closer together. You can separate your feet there. Let's drop down into a fold here. Grab onto opposite elbows here. Shift your weight forward into the fronts of your feet. Soften your knees a little bit or a lot, or maybe not at all. And then sway the upper body side to side. Tailbone lifting up. Back body long. And then come to center. Relax your arms. Walk your feet as wide as your mat, turning your toes out. So your toes are as wide as your mat. Your heels are turned in a little bit. Take your bum down low. Come for Malasana. Excuse me. So if the heels are up here, that's fine. If they stay down, that's fine too. Hands to the heart. Press your palms together. Use your elbows to push wide. Lift your chest. Let the bum drop, tailbone facing down now. Try to find a place of ease here by getting even closer to your breath, paying even more attention to your breath. To the expansive inhale and to the exhale when we're drawing back, coming all back in. Take one more breath. And then bring your hands back behind you. Let your knees come together as you sit your bum down. When you lie down on your back, bring your knees into your chest. Hug your knees in. And then keep your right knee into your chest and extend your left leg straight out onto your mat there. Hands around your right shin, interlace, and hug the knee, that right thigh back in towards the body. And then let's extend the right leg up and we'll bring the hands behind the right thigh. And maybe that hamstring feels a little bit more open now, or maybe it feels even tighter. It really just depends on what you've done today, what you've done this week, and how your body has reacted to this practice so far. Okay, so try not to judge it, whether it feels super open and you're like, ooh, I feel bendy, or whether it feels super tight and you're like, ugh, this is hard, okay? Just let it be what it is. Hands behind your right thigh, and you can take it nice and low with the hands, or you can take the hands up a little bit higher and hug the right leg in towards the body. We're gonna, again, keep it as extended as is comfortable, and maybe we're going a little bit past that Goldilocks point now. If the back of the right leg feels warmed up and it feels a little bit more comfortable coming into this stretch now than it did before, maybe you take it up a notch. Not very far. Again, we don't want to get to the point of shaking or stress, but maybe a little bit more sensation. And then once you get there, point and flex your foot a few times. Nice and slow. Like really flex it, and then really point it. And do that a few times.
Okay, now relax the right foot. Now we're going to take the hands behind the right thigh. Maybe move your hands up the thigh a little bit. Maybe the right knee bends a little bit because we're going to lift up. We're going to take a deep breath in, and then we're going to lift the head and the neck and the shoulders off the mat. And you get as high as you can there. So your shoulders, your backs of your shoulders should be completely off the mat. Lift up. Then start to lift that left leg to hover over the mat. Point the toes. Take a breath in. Keep the chest lifting towards the right shin. And then switch legs. So right leg is going to go to a hover. Left leg is going to come in. You're really lifting up there. And then relax the right leg as you let your back body come down. And we'll take the left leg now. And again, feel free to soften it or straighten it. Hands low or hands a little higher. And then once you're in that appropriate stretch, really flex the foot and then really point the foot. Do that a few times. And then relax that left foot. We're going to do it one more time. We're going to lift the head, the neck, the shoulders up. Get as high up as you can there. Breathe in. Lift the chest up towards the shin. Then breathe out. Switch legs. Let that left leg hover, bringing the right leg in. And then keep the head, the neck, and the shoulders up. Bring your knees into your chest. Hug them in. Hug up. Curl up into a tight little ball. And then release. Relax the head down. Take your arms out into a big wide T shape and let the knees drop to the left to twist. Back of the right shoulder stays back. And let the body settle for a few breaths in the twist. Maybe the head turns to the right if that feels good. Otherwise, just keep the back of the head on the mat. Moving the right shoulder and the right hip in opposite directions, okay? So the right shoulder is moving back into the mat, and the right hip is moving down towards the bottom corner of your mat there. And then bring your knees back up to center and let your knees drop to the right. Keep the back of the left shoulder down. Turn your head to the left or not. Back of the left shoulder and that left hip moving in opposite directions. And then bring your knees back to center. Give them another hug in. And then extend your right leg down onto your mat. Extend your left leg down onto your mat. Take your arms along your sides. If you want to grab something here to make yourself more comfortable, a blanket, if you want to turn your lights down or off all the way, if you want to turn your fireplace on, if you want to grab a pillow, you do whatever you need to do to get comfortable. If you want to take an extended Shavasana and stay extra long tonight, then I'll say namaste to you now, and I invite you to turn your camera off and let yourself stay as long as you can. Otherwise, get comfortable Let your feet flop out to the sides. Take your arms by your sides, maybe a little bit further away from your body than usual. Turn your palms to face up. Let your fingers curl in. Let your eyes close. Then once again, settle. Feel the back of your body settle into the earth. And feel the front of your body settle back into the back of your body. Free yourself of tension, of the desire or the need to do. And take your rest. You are safe, you are held. You can let go. So let your breath begin to deepen. Bring yourself back. Bend your knees one at a time. And once again, bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a hug for dedicating yourself to your practice, to your well-being. This practice, your practice, is where you are. Find your way to your seat when you're ready. Roll to your side. Sit with your eyes closed. Excuse me. Bring your hands to your heart and bow your head in gratitude for all that we learned from this practice. May it benefit you, this practice, and may it benefit all beings everywhere. Thanks so much for sharing with me tonight, yogis. Namaste. Thank you, guys.